Welcome back to our Math 171 video series. In this set of videos, we'll do word problems with exponential equations. Our first question is for half-life. We are given a 100-gram sample of radioactive material with a half-life of 25 hours. We're asked to find how much will be left after 125 hours. Let's begin by introducing the half-life equation. The half-life equation says y is equal to p times 0.5 raised to the power of x divided by h. The p in this equation stands for the starting amount of material. The x stands for how much time has passed. The h stands for the half-life of the material. And the y stands for the amount of material remaining. Let's read through the question and see which letters we know. We begin with a 100-gram sample of material. This is going to be the amount we begin with, and we'll call that P. The material also has a half-life of 25 hours. The letter for half-life is H, and so we'll write that down as well. We are also given that 125 hours will pass because we're asked to find how much will be left after that 125 hours. We'll let that 125 be x. That means we know P, we know H, and we know x. The only letter we don't know is y. Let's plug in the numbers for all the letters we know. We'll have y is equal to p, which is 100, multiplied by 0.5, raised to x, which is 125, over h, which is 25. If we take 125 and divide it by that 25, we'll get 5. So we end up with y equals 100 times 0.5 raised to the 5th power. From here, we can go to a calculator and find the value of y. We'll end up with 3.125 grams. Therefore, if we started with 100 grams and we allow the sample to decay for 125 hours, our remaining amount of material will be 3.125 grams. Here we'll do another example with half-life. We start again with a 100-gram sample of radioactive material with the half-life of 25 hours, and we are asked to find how much time will have to pass before you are left with 10 grams. As we did in the previous video, let's write down what we know. We start with a 100-gram sample. That will be our starting material, or P. We are also given the half-life is 25 hours. The letter we use for half-life is H. We are also given another mass, and we're going to be left with that 10 grams. If it's what you're left with, we're going to call that Y because that's the amount remaining. Therefore, we know Y, we know P, and we know H, but we don't know X. Notice that we are asked about the time. We'll let x be our unknown, and we'll let everything else get plugged in. We'll begin on the left with y. Y is 10, which is equal to p, which is 100, multiplied by 0.5, raised to the x over the h, which is 25. We're going to need to get the exponential by itself in order to solve for x. In order to get that exponential by itself, we're going to divide by the number in front of the exponential. That's 100. If we take that 10 divided by 100, we get 0.1 equals 0.5 raised to the x over 25. Now, since we have the exponential by itself, the way we solve an exponential equation is by taking a log. Since we don't have a base of e in this problem, we can use either a log or a common log. It won't make very much difference which one. I'm going to use a common log for this one, so I'll begin by writing log on the left and log on the right. On the left, I will put 0.1 into the left parentheses, because that's what's on the left, and then I will put 0.5 raised to the x over 25 inside of the other parentheses. Now I can take this exponent and move it to the front in front of log of 0.5. Therefore, I will have log of 0.1 equals x over 25 times log of 0.5. I'm still going to have to do a little bit of algebra to solve for x. We'll do that on the next slide. With this equation, we'll now try to get x by itself. First, we'll need to deal with the 25 here on the bottom under the x. To cancel that out, we will multiply both sides by 25. We'll say 25 times on the left and the right. On the right, the 25 on the bottom of this fraction will cancel out with the 25 on the right. This will give us 25 log of 0.1 equals x log of 0.5. Once again, we're still trying to go for x. Therefore, now I can divide both sides by log of 0.5. We will cancel out log of 0.5 on the right. So now we'll have x equals 25 log of 0.1 over log of 0.5. We can go to a calculator and simplify that. When we press enter, we'll get 83.05 if we round. Therefore, in order to start with 100 grams and end with 10 grams, we would have to wait 83.05 hours. And so this is how we solve the half-life equation for time.